December's here, and it is time to start thinking and talking winter steelhead, one of the fish of 1,000 casts and my favorite prize fish of the Pacific Northwest to target. I got two rig setups that I want to show you that you only need to fish this early season and have success. So let's check it out. Keeping things simple in this early season is covering water and finding fish. We'll cover where to go target here in just a minute, but for these setup rigs, I want to make it as easy as possible for myself on the water to have success and build confidence figuring out where these fish are going to be in this early time. That first setup that I love to do is just a standard float setup. 1/2 ounce, roughly size, baseline slip float, fixed float, whatever your preference, 3/8 ounce lead, down to a regular jig setup. Now, these early fish, I really like to run worms. For me, a worm really gets those fish going early on in the season because you're getting the most aggressive fish that haven't seen usually a ton of people. So I'm using a worm to start off in the morning, but then I have other presentations with me, and that's the versatility side of a float setup that I can go about changing what I'm using under the float and be able to have success based upon the conditions I face. In December, like we're happening right now, we just had a big water event and another one's coming. So the water is going to be on the rise and then on the fall. On the fall, there are going to be fish around and you got to be ready to go target them and chase them, but also be able to adapt to the conditions you're at the river with. It could start the morning off fishing a worm on some murkier water, but within an hour or two, it clears up and those fish are spooked by the bigger presentation. So take that worm off, adjust down, and fish a smaller profile jig. Totally something easy to do with just one knot difference. Or you can also go to a different presentation that fishes multiple water column depths. A dropper jig. You can take your regular steelhead jig, tie on 12 to 18 inches a leader, and have your normal bead setup. I will tell you right now, where this is able to be fished legally per regulations, this is probably my number one setup that I'm running 90% of the time. I love fishing worms, so I'll use that usually first, but this typically stays on the rest of the day. I have so much confidence in it because it does so well. 1/8 ounce jig, basically 10-pound test leader here because my main leader setup is 12-pound, running fluorocarbon, and you can vary the beads themselves. I love fishing this setup in particular with hard beads. It helps get this down a little bit further, so it's actually fishing vertical as much as possible without having to add split shot in between. You can go different sizes of the beads themselves as well, based on the conditions, and you can effectively cover tons and tons of water and depth. So float fishing gives me an opportunity to do a ton of different things in this early season and target every water depth that I may come across. But what if it doesn't happen with the float fishing? Well, it comes back in then with my backup. That is always going to be on me, and that is a hardware setup. I love having this to basically be the confidence that I fished every part of the run effectively and thoroughly. Now I'm going to run a spoon through, and I'm going to throw a wicked as well. It's covering a potentially different aspect that the fish want. Maybe the flash, maybe the vibration is aggressive and pulling another fish from a different area of the run. It gives you an opportunity to fish the water a little bit differently and be more effective as an angler to cover your bases. Sometimes they want a wicked lure or a spinner. Other times they want a spoon. And again, I do these hardware setups like I've shown in the past with that snap in the front because I can quick change out between setups. My rigging setups for the wickeds, like one of my favorite colors is this orange and silver. 1/2 ounce size inline weight, 3 feet a leader. I can clip that on and clip it off to basically whatever color wicked I'm throwing. And if something conditions wise change, I can also change out the float weight size. You're then versatile. Imagine being able with these two setups to walk into wherever you're going to fish. read the water, read the conditions, and from that, you can make your options. If you see potentially fish close in, you can use that float setup and target those. If you want to be able to chase fish that have seen 100 different float setups, but no one's throwing spinners and hardware, you can then go use that other setup and hook fish behind people. It really gives this two setup approach the best success early on in the season, and you don't have to bring a lot of gear. I mean, handful of jigs, handful of worms, a little bit of hardware. I carry all my bead setups for the day in this right here, and it's ready to go. Everything is very convenient, fits in your pack, you're fishing. Now, lastly, where are we going to target early in this season? We have a window here in December to early part of January that's typically our peak for the hatchery fish. And this is going to end up being where you're going to focus your efforts near river systems that have hatchery areas. Those are typically going to be the biggest plants put in and the most returns at this time of the year. So these high water events are going to push fish higher into the system. You're going to want to fish higher up to be able to target those fish. When we have normal conditions and that spans out for a longer period of time without too much fluctuations, you can then go target different areas in the systems. But right now, early on, we're typically having a lot of opportunity in those upper stretches of the river. So be ready to chase these fish. Go find your hot hatchery. You can go find the stocking reports and check which systems potentially give you the best odds. And you can go have some fun, explore some new water, be able to go chase these fish. Let me tell you, winter steelhead had me hooked early on in my fishing career, and I haven't looked back. So I want to hear from you guys below. Are you running two setups like this when you're on the water? What is your favorite early season technique? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And stay tuned because we have a lot more coming. Tight lines and fish on!